The hardcore planning portion of the project management process is about to occur. We call this working on breaking out the work breakdown structure. Everything you've accomplished up to this point was designed to make this step as smooth and as efficient as possible. So what you want to do at this point is pull out your scoping document, the one that includes a project vision statement with the desired outcomes, and the viability of the project, the reason that you're doing this project. Blend this information with the knowledge you gained in your first go, no-go meeting, where you learned if quality, speed, or holding down the cost was going to be the priority for running the project. Because now, in effect, what you have done is provided yourself with an outline that will assist you as you break the project into little packages. Sometimes I call this activity breaking the project into hunks, chunks, and bytes. I typically use a thought map software or a process to collect all the information gleaned up to this point. And as you can see, in this stage I simply brainstorm the many varied and unique things that need to be accomplished in order to complete the project as I've envisioned it. Now, to simplify the learning process, I'm going to use a short and sweet home project, one of cleaning the basement, to demonstrate how to break your project down into these bytes. Starting with the project vision statement as the hub of my thought map, it looks like this. And as you can start to see, I'm going to transfer all the items mentioned in my vision statement and my other documentation into this thought map. And while I go, the process facilitates me to discover a few more of the details of what makes the work breakdown structure of the project. Can you see how I'm breaking out the work into manageable packages? Once I have the entire project broken down into work packages, I take a moment to calculate how much risk could be out there waiting to make my project fail. I use a risk analysis process that can be viewed in greater detail on a previous video, but simply I brainstorm the things that could go wrong. I calculate the impact if each risk were to happen on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest score, meaning the highest risk. Then I discern the probability of each risk based on how probable I think this risk might be in terms of actually happening. As you can see now, this process had helped me discover that my biggest risk is my estimation power. I'm not so sure I can complete this project when I think I can. On a scale of 1 to 5, because the potential numbers I used for impact and probability multiplication were 1 through 5, the scale of 1 to 25 is going to show me that the hot zone is in the upper portion of the 1 to 25. My risk is not that hot. However, I still want to mitigate against it, so you can see I have added a new prong to my project map. I have a mitigation plan. I have a virtual little net that I can fall into if I don't get it finished when I think I will. And now I'm ready to determine the sequence of when each piece of the project is going to be accomplished. You can see this indicated by the number that I have put by each main package of my thought map. And I've also assigned the resource to each part of the project. In other words, the person who will accomplish that part of the project. For some of you, it might be clear how come I use the thought mapping to engage all my creative juices and formulate the work breakdown structure as I do. However, if you are working on a very sophisticated project, you can still use the thought map to break it out into the work breakdown structure. And then you'll want to transfer your project to a Gantt chart, as you can see here. Your job is easier now because each piece of the project is either placed in a thought map if it's a simple project, or placed in a thought map and then transferred to a Gantt chart so that you can see the order of operation or your critical path through all the things that have to be done and assigned to a time frame and assigned with resources. The more complex the project, the greater need for a Gantt. The final thing you'll want to do as you place your work into a work breakdown structure or put it into a Gantt is to make sure that you look at your prioritized triple constraint. Make sure that your project can meet the one you picked. By this, I would say my basement project is getting tested because the effectiveness, the quality was what was first in my mind. And so I have organized myself into creating part of the project to involve an effectiveness test. So now that you have everything broken down into your work breakdown structure, the quality of your work moving forward when you execute the project has now probably been determined.